Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP level 200 backhand blades build guide in Elden Ring. Now this is a very fun weapon because it has a really great moveset here and it can deal a ton of bleed buildup if we put the blood infinity on it. So I'll be going over the level guide at level 200. Now if you're a lower level I'll talk about where you should put your stats, and if you go above it I'll tell you where to put them. So this will scale if we put a blood affinity on it off of our dexterity, but also off our arcane as well to build up the blood loss buildup. This weapon attacks fast, making it a really great candidate to put this on. So you can see the stats there. I'll go over them in just a second after I take care of this guy, but yeah, Literally just knocked him off the edge. So at level 200, we got 50 vigor, 16 mind, 30 endurance, 18 strength, 65 dexterity, 10 intelligence, 25 faith. This is allow us to cast golden vow, and then 63 arcane. This is being boosted by that. Go with the white mask for the boost to our damage after we trigger blood loss, alongside the Lord of Blood's exaltation. This will give us 30% extra damage once we trigger blood loss buildup, and this is a blood loss build of 114, which is incredible. It's going to be triggering that pretty frequently. I also went with the Rotten Wingsword Insignia and Millicent's Prosthesis. This gives us 5 more dexterity, but it increases our attack as we attack multiple times. So we attack fast with this, making it a very great option. I also went with the Lord of Blood's Exaltation. I went with the Great Armor to give us an increased damage when we do jump attacks, but you can also add in the Claw Talisman and focus more on jump attacks, as they're a pretty good way to get damage in. Also, you want to have your poise at least 51, 56 at the very minimum. This works well, but the general strategy, keep the blind spot on here. This is a really great weapon art. And you can see there, we triggered a blood loss build up very fast. So we can, once we have the blood loss triggered, we can basically take them out in one attack that did 1300 damage there. So just a single tap of R1 has taken out these enemies because it just deals so much damage. The nice thing about the blind spot is you can also use it as a dash, so you can just kind of spam it there if you need to be able to avoid getting hit, and then you can also obviously attack with it. So that is the beauty of that there, is it has a good amount of posture damage as well from the backhand blade, and it's a great mobility tool. So we're able to slaughter all the alphanerics there really quickly, but I'll go refresh them and just kind of talk about what buffs we should be using, because this was without even using any buffs. This weapon is incredibly strong. So for usual starters, I like to go with the Lord of Blood, or I like to go with the Flame Grant Me Strength, and you want to start with Golden Vow as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we have 25 faith to be able to cast this. You can also do some Dragon Communion like Rotten Breath or XXDK. That's another huge benefit of that. And if you don't want to put the Blood Affinity, you could put Blood Flame Blade on it, but yeah, they deal so much damage. Like even now, just with those buffs up, we're already dealing 1200 damage. So let's see if we can get the blood loss inflicted to be able to, there we go, we triggered it. Sometimes you can attack once they're dead and you'll trigger the damage, so it's crazy the amount of damage we can do there. 1755 with a single press of L1, so that is incredible amounts of damage. I think actually that's like very similar to what you'd get if you were to do a heavy attack with like a great giant greatsword or something like that. So as you can see, we're taking out the enemies very quickly. 1400 damage without Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength active. So yeah, this is an incredibly powerful build. It just rips through enemies like no tomorrow. And if you're a higher build than, or a higher level than this, you can put some more stats into like your faith to be able to get more arcane, to be able to get more spells, and you can also increase the dexterity, as that's going to increase the weapon damage, and also a little bit of arcane is not a bad thing as well. It does have a bit of less scaling after level 60, so I would just recommend focusing more on probably your dexterity, and even your vigor too is not a bad set to put yours into. You're going to have plenty of mind here. Typically you're only going to need to go up to about 40 mind, so that would be like the next step if you want to go a little bit higher. But yeah, this weapon absolutely shreds. It's one of my favorite weapons in Elden Ring because it deals a ton of damage. It has a lot of mobility, and you can just beat the whole game with it because you can change it out. If you want, you can change these to the Keen affinity and then put like a frostbite on them as well. You can also even level intelligence a bit to get chilling mist and boost up the frostbite damage. But yeah, this weapon is incredibly strong. So there's a level 200 OP build for the backhand blades in Elden Ring. So if you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.